This camera's gonna drive me fucking nuts.
I noticed you keep looking at it.
Of our podcast is a working title. We don't know what it is. Why are you out fucking with them hoes? Stop doing it. We've done some in the past. I don't know. We've done a handful of them. None of them really organized. Kind of chaos for the most part. Most of that's my fault. Yeah, I'm sure. Most of that is my fault because I've been 99% of them. I have gradually, especially if you watch them, I'm gradually getting more intoxicated as the podcast goes on, and it just goes to shit and flies off the rails. And
sometimes that's how you get the better content.
Sometimes the one you edited at the outside, that had to be horrible to edit because I know there was probably an hour where we were just eating and not really talking, and just fucking shoveling our fat faces. They were like, "Oh, is a charcuterie board? Oh, okay. We just forgot we were talking." And his internet was so bad. I tried live streaming for probably an hour, and I forget what his speeds were, but they were atrocious. Couldn't even do it. And then they had a fan like right by the mic the whole time, so it was horrible.
It sounded like my speed back in the day.
Oh,
like dial-up plus.
Yeah, they just got fiber optics put in like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, man.
I was like, you're gonna notice a substantial difference. All right, so we're talking about some aliens. I do a lot of driving at work, and I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts and stuff like that. And the last couple I've listened to Joe Rogan were a lot about aliens, a lot about drones and what people were thinking. And they had a guy on. He had a guy on this week. They had two guys on this week, but one of them had an encounter with an alien, supposedly. And I was like, okay, this is a fun topic. I think everyone has a certain opinion about aliens, or a decent amount of people have experience about aliens. I had supposedly, I think mine's more of an imprinted memory from my grandmother, but supposedly when I was 7, we saw a glowing green orb. And my grandparents always lived in a RV park. Always had an RV. They always traveled around the fifth wheel. And we supposedly saw a green orb, probably the size of a softball, floating around, messing around our window. And then we watched it out, like we walked outside and watched it float around in front of our faces and then take off. Now, I don't really remember it, but I remember her telling me that it happened. And I always told it as if, oh, yeah, I saw this alien.
Did you get Inception?
Maybe. We might be in one now. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen? I would really hoping we get Spartan's military expert in here, and we'll get Slavos. What do you got, Slavo? What do you got, huh? What can you tell us? You seen anything? Anything?
NDA
off the record? Yeah.
Honestly, I do have an NDA, but no.
Where are you at now? You're out in the state of Texas now, right?
Yeah.
What do you see out there? Now. You see anything out there?
Yeah, the darkness, because that's all I see out my window.
It's just dark all the time. How about up there in Canada? What's the alien vibes up there?
Whatever we see on YouTube, I guess. I remember one time, like fucking back in the day, my dad ended up catching on camera. He does like it's like legitimately UFO because none of us know what it was, but it's like middle of the day, something's like floating up in the sky, just going across. And like I remember even like he recorded it, so I threw it up on my old YouTube channel. And it's funny, you could just hear like my stepmom back in the ground, like, "Do you think it's the Russians?"
I mean that might be more plausible.
I like her realm where she's gets scary, but
I'm not picking it up on the camera, honey. I can't see nothing on the camera.
It could be the Nazis, right? They're into all that occult stuff, right? Spaceships and flying stuff. What was that movie? There was the
comedy one there.
Yeah, the comedy one that was like where they colonized the moon,
Iron
the dark
Sky,
side of the
that's
moon.
It.
Yeah. That was a good one. That was a good one. Well, my dad is a huge. So, my dad is a huge. He's very contradictory. He's a huge alien guy. He's a huge God and religious guy. He's a huge conspiracy guy, all tied into one. And then I fucked up years ago, and I sent him like a video of flat Earth, and I ruined his world for like 6 months. He would be just sending me random things. He's like, "We should go on a trip to see if we could get over the ice wall." I'm like, "Jeez, pops."
Oh man.
He was quite the character. One of the things they were talking about was the types of aliens. So this guy that was on his podcast was talking about, supposedly he ran not counterintelligence, but like they would listen in on government bases and stuff like that. Like that was their job, was to bug a government base, listen in, then do like a fake attack drill, and then come in and then like play everything for them and say, all right, this is what you guys did wrong, blah 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 blah. And he said through doing that, he found 3 different types of aliens that they would always talk about. And they would talk about the Greys, which is typically what you see: little, short, big head, big eyed, gray skin, pale complexioned.
Like E.T.?
Yeah, like E.T. Gray, little, short,
Paul.
big heads. Yeah, Paul. Yep, just like that. Then they had what they call the tall whites, which started off small, and the older they got, they would grow to be 8-10 feet tall, and they'd be super pale but very more human like. And then the one
Prometheus?
Probably, that's what I'm thinking, that's what it looks like, right? And then the other one was the reptilians, and they always said the reptilians were the bad ones, and you always hear that. You always hear about reptilians, the New World Government and stuff like that. And they went into some talk about how there's supposedly 16 different types of aliens in some sort of like world galaxy foundation of whatever the fuck. Basically like I guess our UN, I guess is what it would be, like the United Nations, but of aliens. And they went through like talking about how people being abducted and shit. And the one thing that I always think of when they abduct, if they're trying to learn stuff about us, why do they seem to choose like the dumbest hicks to fucking kidnap and test stuff on? They're like, hey, let's pick up this guy Jim Bob out here in the woods in his cabin. Let's see what he knows.
He's up to some freaky shit down there. He's just got skins of animals all around his house. Like, what the hell is wrong? We got to see what's up with this guy.
Yeah, we got to see what this dude's doing. The other one they talked about was the Nordics, but I think they get confused with the tall whites because they're similar description of the Nordics. Big, tall, pale, sometimes blonde hair. A lot of people confuse those with the aliens or angels. And if you ever watch Ancient Aliens, which I'm sure most people have, I watch it to go to sleep every night. It's very peaceful for me. It's a profound yes that aliens are here. If you didn't know that, it's a profound yes. They know that. And they think that that's what everyone mistaken aliens as. They're not, or angels as, is they're aliens. Something that I wanted to think is like, what would your theory be of, if there is aliens, why would they be coming here? Like, what would be their goal for visiting this planet?
Well, if I had, like, I've always had like a slightly different whole type of like view on the aliens. So I won't derail this at this moment. I'll see if Sass has anything to say about that first. But no, okay. I forget where I've heard this first, but I always found it very interesting. It's like, if there is intelligent life, yeah, it's like, but with how long the universe has started and how long it is until the heat death of the universe, we're still in like the first like 1-2% beginning of the universe, and it's like if extraterrestrial, like what I kind of lean towards, if extraterrestrials, it's more of like they exist with like on little islands throughout time. So like we're here now, but like millions of years from now, another race on another planet somewhere. There's just so much time and so much space in between that it almost makes it impossible for things like that to connect. And I don't know, that's just how I figured if they did show up, they'd either just fucking harvest us for organic matter or just fucking fuck those ants, we're going to the next one kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not a fun guy.
He's not a mushroom. What about you, Slaps?
I don't got anything. The only thing I know about like aliens recently is the fucking shit that they're coming out of the ocean, which I'm confused about. I have no idea.
That's a big one. They think That's one of the other theories is they've always been here. Like they've always been on this planet. Maybe, and that varies between maybe they survived. Maybe they were technologically more advanced when maybe the asteroid hit and they went underground for a hollow Earth theory, or hanging out in the oceans because we spend more time exploring space than we do our own oceans. That's a big one. What was it the Abyss? Is that the movie from
Yeah,
back in the day?
James Cameron one there.
Yeah, about aliens. The other one I hear a lot, which I think is the ancient aliens one, is that they planted us here. Maybe we are a farm for organic matter.
Mhm.
The one my wife just mentioned was gold, right? Why did gold become so important? Like it's not a very good metal.
Mhm.
I mean, now we use it for more stuff in computers and stuff like that. But back then, like, why was it so sought after? Like, why would someone rather have this gold than a fucking metal to make a sword? Like, it seemed like you could protect yourself better, have something that's way more valuable than gold. And that theory was, their atmosphere is dissipated, and gold is good to put up in the atmosphere. It's to help conceal your atmosphere. And then I think just recently they started talking about doing that here, shooting up some kind of like reflective material up into the atmosphere to kind of help
Oh, what was
stop
that
the global warming.
fucking John Travolta space movie where do you see John Travolta with the dreadlocks? You ever seen it?
Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, and they're all like,
One of
they're-
the worst but best movies.
right, like we're coming here for your gold. And it's like, bro, you know how much gold is in like some random buttfuck asteroid off of fucking Jupiter? Like,
You don't have to work so hard to melt, round up all the wrappers and melt down their fucking chain.
all right, let's hop into 200-year-old jets and finish this shit. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. The other one that everybody kind of theorizes, like, if they are out there, maybe the reason they stop in on us is, we're basically still primates with a bigger brain, like that we're just able to do more, but we've got all this nuclear power now, and maybe they're like, hey, these fucking idiots down here that just a short period of time ago were chucking spears at shit, now have the power to just nuke the whole fucking world. And I believe it was the 70s we sent a nuke up into space just to see what it would do.
Yeah,
We'll just launch this fucking nuke into space and see what happens.
they launched it off of in the Pacific Ocean there, and it created such a solar disturbance that it landed on parts of Hawaii and stuff like that. And if it was like, they ended up knocking out a bunch of electrical shit they had there, like.
Yeah, so I could see if there was aliens, you just see that erupt. You're like, wait, what are these fucking idiots doing? Just testing the fucking nuclear shit in the air? It's gonna
What's
come
the
down.
South Park
sometime, right?
episode where they just make Earth like reality TV. Like honestly, that'd be like 100%. Like if there was any type of aliens coming around, it'd be about like they're probably about capitalism too. Like how do we make money off of this? Like,
Watch these idiots fuck around. Watch them do a bunch of dumb shit. What else? My kind of theory, not so much on aliens, but I kind of lump it in with all aliens. I kind of lump in with all supernatural shit. All of it. I kind of put it all: cryptoids, aliens, vampires, all that shit. I kind of lump into one sum. My kind of thought would be like parallel universes. That would be my theory. Like maybe it's just people that have found out how to get out of their parallel universe. And they're just coming over to check out this one.
dude, that shit always boggles my mind because it's just like, it's just the possibility are endless when you start talking that kind of stuff. It's just like,
Yeah, how many of us is there in these parallel universes? Like, is there other of us right now having the same podcast somewhere else? But maybe we look like fucking lizards. Fascist shrimps. Yeah, that's Rick and Morty. A bunch of fascist shrimps.
right? Like,
and that's when I was younger. That's what I always thought ghosts were. And when people talk about ghosts, I always thought, well, maybe that's just like you seeing a glimpse of a different dimension, like something phasing into this one. I don't know. Could be. Probably not.
I don't know if you guys ever seen that one comic where it's like You see somebody dies and they turn into a ghost. They're like, "Ooh, I'm floating away," and they're like floating outside the building. And then they're floating up in the atmosphere, and they're like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And then they just get like left in space because the Earth is moving throughout space. There's just like a trail of ghosts in space behind Earth. I'm like, now that's an existential nightmare.
Yeah, that's our atmosphere. It's just made up of a bunch of ghosts that are just trapped up there. Can't get out. What was they put us here? Oh, one of the things they were talking about last night that they can't misprove was the and my wife has this. It's the Rh negative, the blood type. There's only, I think they said 15% of people in the world that have this blood type, and it's the Rh negative, and they can't trace where it came from. Like there's no. Yeah, and there's no definitive spot where they can say, "Oh, this is where it came from. This is why it split off." It's pretty gnarly to think that it's just. Then again,
A
who
mutant strain of
fucking-
humans.
yeah, who? Then you play devil's advocate, and who knows what half of these scientists are talking about and whether it's fucking real or not. It's all made up shit, right? Just to make money.
I would say it's like the population of gingers, regardless of how big, like, we've been through a history of like, let's say 1 million people on Earth or 8 billion people on Earth. It's always hovered around 8 to 9% or something are all redheads. It's like a constant percentage. That's weird.
Yeah, they're keeping up with the same population as everybody else, percentage-wise.
Hmm.
Primarily probably Scottish people, I would assume, or Scottish descent, right? They're the redheads mostly, right?
I think or Irish or something like
Or
that.
Irish.
I think it's more Irish, yeah.
Irish. Making sure we don't blow up the world. Nobody cares about that. Oh, so we were talking about the aliens coming from. Yeah, well, no one cares if the world blows up. Bring it on.
If it happens, it
blown
happens.
up.
I'm either
It's
here or
blown
I'm
up
out.
before. Yeah,
I
it's
ain't
blown
gonna
up
be one of
before.
those Fallout survivors. I'm either gonna just be like in the blast zone or like,
That was the thing Joe Rogan said on his podcast. I think it was Theo Vaughn asked him. He's like, if they just dropped a nuke right now, like, what would you do? He goes, drive towards it. He's like, what? He goes, I don't want to live in some post-apocalyptic fucking world where what if they do turn into zombies? Now your kid's a zombie. You got to kill your kid. He goes, fuck that. I'll round the family up. I'll drive right into that.
This is going to be not my problem in 3, 2, 1.
Exactly. But you're talking about them coming from the ocean, and then did you guys? Obviously, I'm sure you probably heard about the drones that were in Jersey. And
Yeah,
Trump
I was hearing about that. I never really actually looked into that. I should have looked into it. It's kind of interesting. I don't know.
The Trump administration just released the press release with the Speaker of the House or whatever she is, his secretary, that they were ours
Mm-hmm.
and they were hobbyists and they were all cleared by the FFA for research.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
The theories were, so the problem is nobody that we know of has the technology for the ones that supposedly were spotted. They were the size of SUVs, and they were flying upwards of 5 hours at a time, and they were silent, and they were untraceable by like thermal or something. So they were saying, how could you have a battery that big that could last that long without getting hot enough to be seen thermally? And they were talking about a bunch of them had been launched from the water, and nobody knows any technology that supposedly that nobody has to be able to launch those.
Though, if it can't get picked up by that, that'd be excellent for drone warfare. That's the last thing you want getting out right now, especially with how hot that is right now. Everyone's on that drone warfare fucking doctrine right now. Everyone's watching fucking all that, like a fucking bird's eye view.
They were saying the other conspiracy theory about them was that they were using them to search for radiation because there was a missing nuke that was supposed to be traveling here from somewhere. And it was supposed to be going in somewhere around New York City is where it was supposed to be landing, and they lost it. So they were using these drones with some sort of, I don't know, I guess it would be a sensor maybe for the radiation or something. And that's what they were trying to do, was trace down a warhead.
What a Geiger counter usually is what for radiation.
Probably.
remember watching a documentary back in the day when they lost a nuke out in it was around Italy, and they never actually I don't believe they ended up finding it because the like nuclear trace amounts is so low that it's just like barely even able to pick up. Then you get like all that other shit in the water floating around and everything. Like there's probably like a Wikipedia list, probably like over like hundreds of nukes that just been accidentally lost.
Yeah, they said the last stat I saw was just the United States had lost 78.
Oh my god, how do you misplace 78 nuclear warheads? I
78
think I
nukes
misplaced
that
my
are
keys
not
once or
accountable.
twice.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, where's that shipment of nuclear warheads at? Oh, fuck. I don't know. Somebody picked them up last week. I didn't get them to sign for it. I don't know who has them.
Oh, you meant Georgia in America? I sent it to Georgia over in fucking Russia. Whoopsie daisies. No wonder shipping was insane.
Yeah, no wonder why the cost is so expensive. But that would be crazy. I mean, that would be the other theory for the drones was linking it back to aliens. So if we were being visited by all these aliens and all these spacecrafts, like how would you get the public used to seeing more and more of that stuff in our skies? Would be just kind of flood the sky with shit, right? Just
Mhm.
making an ordinary thing to see lights flying through. Ah, it's a drone. Yeah, it's a drone. Well, maybe it's not. Just kind of flood it and get that perception out there.
Oh yeah, because also for China's New Year, I think it was last year, they had like thousands of drones in the sky dancing and doing all this. It was all controlled by like an AI script and shit like that, and like
Yeah, they made a big ass dragon out of them. It was I saw a video of it. It's nuts. Have them synced up like that. They're supposedly way far ahead of us as far as drone technology is. At least hobbyist wise, the drones that you can buy over there are so much better than the ones you can buy here. Like I believe after a certain size, you have to get a pilot's license to fly them here. You have to get, and then you got to get clearance from the FAA to fly a fucking drone around.
I was gonna say, once you toss rules and regulations out the window, you can just go leaps and bounds ahead of everybody. But going back to I mean, aliens in there, I mean, they probably wouldn't even. I mean, look what we're doing right now. You wouldn't even really need to send stuff in the air. We're already producing it all for them. We got CCTV monitors everywhere, like cameras in every corner, every cell phone. If the government could track it, if there's aliens, they gave that shit to their teenager to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the scary thing. It's the amount of tracking that's like just done on your cell phone. Just the amount of nobody reads the fine print on any of the apps you download. You just scroll through and hit agree. You don't know what it says, what access you're giving to your phone, and I think it was the Patriot Act. They just access anyone's phone at any time, no matter what. I imagine the aliens just like kids back in the day with police scanners. That's probably what the aliens are doing, right? Switch the channel. Let's hear what they're doing over in America. Those fucking idiots.
Right, we're just recreation for them.
Yeah, it's a pastime. Maybe that's what they do when they abduct people. They just put them up there and put them in a room. Let's see what he does. Let's see what Jimbo does. Let's shove this probe up his ass. See what kind of reaction he has.
Let's put the Throbbing Burger on the table. See what he does. Oh, he stabbed himself with the Throbbing Burger.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about Freemasons, but I don't think I can yet. I haven't done any follow-up research of what I should say or what I shouldn't say. Not like anyone's gonna watch it, but it's something I did a couple, I don't know, fucking 10 years ago. I went in and became a Freemason. Now I'm fucking low level nobody, so I wouldn't know anything either. But the one thing I found crazy was something like 40 something presidents were Freemasons, and a bunch of the world's elite and most rich people are all Freemasons.
Well,
Then you get the spin off of the Illuminati that are supposed to be a thing that are from the Freemasons. And the background story of Freemasons were they were actual Masons, and they built, I think it's King Solomon's temple, I think is what it was. And then they became powerful, rich people that control the world. Or devil worshippers, I believe, is the other thing. I believe they worship the devil too.
I don't know if I've ever like. I think I may have heard it like from past tense and videos and stuff. But I don't know if a whole Freemason thing is a thing up here in like Canada and stuff like that. When you originally mentioned it, I'm like volunteer builders, they go around like help Freemasons, you know, like I can do great brickwork. Look at this, it's amazing brickwork. Like,
It was a hot topic. I think around the time I joined, it was like everywhere I looked, like on YouTube and shit. That was a thing. Everyone's talking about Freemasons. I believe they built the Denver airport, like the giant airport that's in Denver. I believe it was built by Freemasons, and it's got a bunch of Freemason signs and stuff all over. When I went down that path, I started doing, research, but Wikipedia and YouTube, that's not accurate research, but that's where I did my research. And I ran into a lot of different secret societies and stuff. And one of the interesting ones, it was called Cicada 333, I think is what it was called. And it was allegedly a program from, I believe, the NSA to like recruit hackers for the government. But it was like a Easter egg hunt. Like they would put up like I think they made a website and they put up like a difficult math problem.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
They made like a B-rated movie out of it, but they would put up like a problem, and then that if you solve that, it would lead you to the next thing. And it went on for like a couple of years, and then it just like died off. And the rumor was that like they recruited the smartest hackers that they wanted, and then it just kind of disappeared. But shit like that always intrigued me. I was thinking, I wonder what, just from the American standpoint, I wonder what kind of info Trump is going to leak. You think he's going to leak a bunch of shit, Slavo? Bunch of files and shit that nobody knows about?
I don't know. You never know with that guy.
Well, they just released JFK, Martin Luther King, and I think Bobby Kennedy's assassination reports.
Holy shit, his brains did get blown out.
Yeah.
They had it on video?
What'd you say? They said when they rented a car, he should have rented one with a roof.
I mean, like...
Enterprise really dropped the ball on that one, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a lot of open space out here, man. Oh, fine. Nobody owns guns these days.
Yeah. Don't worry about that grassy knoll over there. We got it covered.
They did great lawn care on it.
Yeah. I said, see, we started talking about shit. Now my phone's been hacked. I can't send text messages. They're on to us.
Oh, legit. Somebody is like trying to hack into one of my old MSN accounts. It's just been like, I kept it locked for like a month now. It's like every other day I'll be like, oh, here's your PIN for your account. And I'm like, oh, I didn't request that.
Yeah. Did you try to log in Afghanistan? Yeah, that's me.
Right. Like, can't you just IP lock it? And if they put in your password wrong 7 times, you have to reset your password. But it's like, doesn't that mean my password's doing good?
Yeah, right? Why do I need to reset it? They haven't guessed it yet.
Yeah, like, fuck. Sass looks like green versus red.
Honestly, I wanted it blue.
Is there
turn lights blue.
Oh, dude, the government's tracking your shit for sure.
Yeah, 100%. They've been tracking it.
Yeah. What was the other thing? I was going to talk about the dark web, but I don't know much about it. I don't know if you guys do. All I know is there was a point in time where I read like a bunch of creepy pastas and thought they were real shit. And they turned out to be fake about the dark web and shit that was going on. It doesn't seem like the dark web's a thing anymore, right?
It's mostly just when Google does an index, then you can access it through what's that say?
Keep going. What you were saying?
It's just like mostly things like Google doesn't like, index and things like that you can access your website, or like if you do use like, let's say a Tor, is this a Tor for the app that you'd use? It'd be like your Firefox or whatever. It just adds like another also layer of protection, like kind of like a VPN if you use it in conjunction with it.
So I do have a topic on that a little bit.
Yay.
I did some testing with it.
Yeah. When?
I think it was like 2 months ago.
Okay.
I was messing around. I was like looking up stuff because one of our buddies, he's like into the tech stuff and like hella protections, VPNs and stuff. So I found a way to get a USB that I can connect to any computer I want and have it boot up from it and be completely incognito. No one would know where I'm at.
Hmm.
So I have a USB right now just chilling that I can use if I want to search the web without being found out.
So it like
Most
bounces your IP around, basically, so
Uh,
it can't track it.
Basically, yeah, it bounces your IP. You basically connect to one IP, but that IP is like bounced everywhere around the world. And then whatever you search up or look up, it may be slow because obviously a lot of people use it because they want to be like not known or seen, or people are in hiding or something like that. So I have one of those and I tested it out. It's slow as shit, but it did get the job done. And then when I take out the USB and start up the computer, nothing ever happened.
It's that scene in GoldenEye where they're on the train right before it blows up. He's in Cuba. No, he's in Romania. See the line tracking across the world.
Basically, it's like that.
I had a scary moment one time. I was playing back when I was playing Madden a lot and I was top ranked. We were playing in a game. These things would happen where like the game would freeze, and then if you didn't leave, you just stayed there. Like the last person that stayed in there would get the win. This guy was like, "Hey, you need to leave or whatever." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones, dude, until you leave. I'm gonna get this win." And he was like, "Don't make me like crash your computer, dude." He's like, "Come on." I was like, "Oh yeah, you're a hacker. I'm so sure you're sitting here playing Madden with me." And he was like, "Keep it up, dude." And he sent like an IP address to me. And I was like, "Oh shit." Then I checked my IP and I was like, "Oh, that's not my IP." I was like, "Oh, good try. That's not my IP." And he was like, "Oh yeah, well, do you live in this city?" And it was the city I live in. And I was like, "Fuck." I panicked. I shut everything off real quick. I think I went and woke my wife up. I'm like, "Fuck, dude. This this guy's probably got access to our bank accounts. We might need to cancel everything, all because I wanted an extra win." And then later on that night, I was scrolling through my social media accounts, and one of my Instagram posts for Talentless had tagged where I was, and this guy's name showed up on my Instagram, like had searched me, and that's how I found out. But I fucking for a couple hours went into like panic mode. I was like, "Oh God, what's gonna happen? He's gonna know everything about me."
So there is some people do like some people have access to like hacking into Xbox or whatever consoles and whatnot to be able to find IPs and where people are. I've seen videos of that and that scares me. That's why I
Yeah,
don't play on console anymore. Fuck
yeah,
that.
it's fucking crazy. Like I don't want someone coming to my house to shoot me because I beat them 35-7 in Madden.
Right?
Christ, guy,
Like,
it's not that serious. Just tell me up front when we started playing, "Hey, I can find your IP address. I'll come kill you." I'll give you the win. I'll give it to you right there. I don't care. I don't need it that bad.
we running a VPN, man, so a guy doesn't come shoot out in this house. This part is sponsored by NordVPN.
Yeah, right. Who's VPN? Don't get shot playing that. What was the other thing about the dark web? Oh, the mystery boxes. You could go on the dark web and buy a mystery box, and then it would get sent to you. And I think one of my kids showed me the video, and it's like, why would you want to buy a random box of shit? And then it would always be like a T-shirt covered in blood, like a
You know,
used
like
condom.
these
It's like, what
motherfuckers
the
out
fuck?
there bought like a shirt from their local like store and like threw like comic blood on it and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
you just paid $100 for a used Walmart T-shirt covered in Halloween blood. Great job.
I remember seeing those videos pop up back in the day, but like
Yeah,
the dark
it was a
internet
while ago.
boxes and stuff like that. And it's just like, man, people just either buying drugs or just keep it incognito.
I would assume that's probably the biggest. I mean, besides thinking about human trafficking, crazy shit like that, probably the biggest thing for the dark web would probably be selling people's identities, selling drugs, and probably weapons. Those would probably be your top three, I would assume.
What's that? There's that website there. It's called have I been pwned or I got pwned? And basically, it's like you put in your email address and it'll tell you like what breaches you've been in, and like a lot of those breaches, like it'll tell you too if it's been like username, passwords, things like that. And it'll tell you when, and it'll be like, and then these get added to like lists, like let's say on the dark web, right? And like massive like text file lists of like hundreds of thousands of people, and then those just all get bitted off and stuff like that to people, and then they grab that text file, run it through their program, try to hit every line on the way down, kind of thing, and.
Well, anybody who steals my identity, they're going to be in worse shape than what they were before.
That's
Oh,
where
wow,
I'm at,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
bro.
before.
If you're doing anything like that, you're climbing down steps. You're not going up. Like,
All right. The other thing was Bitcoin. So I was I don't know really shit about it, but started doing minor research on it. Didn't know that I could create a Bitcoin right now if I wanted to.
do a rug
There's
pull.
so
Do a
there's
talentless rug pull. Start a talentless fucking Bitcoin.
and then just get it all the way up and just
Right.
take it out.
You're the only one that
that's
can
what I-
sell.
Yeah, that's what I heard was it was the Hawk Tour girl.
Yeah, she
The
did
Hawk
that.
Tour girl out of coin just made a bunch of money, and then everybody was mad, and she's gone. And apparently Trump has one now. There's a Trump Bitcoin, and it's like worth $3 billion right now or some shit.
He's probably the only one that can sell that.
Probably, I'm sure. The other one that I saw, some kid made one and got it up to like 13 grand or something, and then sold it. He was like, "Yeah, I just made 13." He was like some 15-year-old kid. I just made $13,000.
But
But
has this not become fraud yet?
that's what I'm saying. Like, what the other thing that was like Bitcoin? What's the NFTs? Never
Yeah,
understood that.
Like, I don't get like Bitcoin, NFTs, those like fucking pictures. Yeah, like you said, like how, what money that comes out of the fucking ether or something like.
Yeah, no, I've never been at the gas station. They'd be like, "How would you like to pay today? Would you like to play with Bitcoin or NFT?"
I shit you not.
Nope.
Fucking, there's a corner store down here. They have a fucking Bitcoin machine there.
We have one here. They have a Bitcoin ATM in Tampa.
Who the fuck uses that?
Yeah, let me just go cash out my Bitcoin. They're $3,000 out of the ATM. What the fuck? It just
You know that
doesn't-
guy
it
pulled up
doesn't-
in a Tesla.
Yeah, right. Cashing out my Elon Bitcoin.
Tesla truck too. Like,
Not anything on topic, but other thing. Speaking of Elon, there was a book written by who's the Van Buren, the NASA guy, the German Nazi that we brought over in Paperclip that got us to the moon. Van Braun. Van Braun. that's
oh
his name.
yeah, he got he buddies with Ford Mercury and shit.
Yeah, he wrote a book, a fiction book, supposedly when he was still a Nazi, and it talks about this gentleman named Elon, who becomes the first mayor of Mars.
I fucking think I've heard of this. Yeah.
And now, 80 years later, Elon's sending people to fucking Mars. And then when you do the research, his dad read the book and named his kid Elon after the book. So it's like, is it like a self-fulfilling prophecy? Where Elon's whole life, his dad was like, "You got to live up to this book. You got to go to the moon and be the mayor."
Did his dad go on record and say he's not very bright in nice terms?
He said that about Elon.
Yeah.
Wow.
I won't say what the actual quote is because, but
starts with an R. Hard R.
yeah.
The other one was a book about, like, same thing. It was like in the 20s. It was a book about Barron Trump. Was the main character. He had adventures with his what did they call him? Advisor? I don't know what they called it in the book, but he had adventures with Don, and they lived in Trump Castle. And his advisor, or whatever, Don, became the last king of wherever they were to ever be the king. And it's like a lot of things have lined up where it's like, oh shit, that seems like it's about the actual Baron Trump. What's going to happen? Trump's going to be the last president. He's going to write some executive order where there can never be another president again.
All I keep getting is pictures of what's his face from Back to the Future there, Biff. He takes over.
With his book of sports.
The Almanac.
Yeah, mine's always a hot tub time machine. Lugal. Or where the squirrel goes out on the field and changes the history of the football game. He's supposed to suck the dude off in the fucking bathroom.
If nobody has
Oh.
seen the movie, they just got so lost with that.
Yeah, what?
That squirrel did who to what now?
Thank you. Yeah, what the squirrel do? What if time travel was real? Would you want to be able to go in time travel?
Yes.
You would? Where would you go?
Where would I go?
Yeah, where would
Anywhere
you go?
but here.
you
Anywhere
wanna
but
go-
this time.
Would you want to go forward or backwards?
Backwards.
Backwards?
Yeah. Seemed like the laws were a lot less strict. It's more free reign.
How backwards do you want to go?
I don't know. I kind of want to see the dinosaurs. I want to see if they're actually real. I don't
Good luck
believe it.
breathing.
You don't believe
Yeah,
in
it's
dinosaurs?
sulfur in the air and stuff. Yeah.
The
I didn't
oxygen's all what's
fucked
it? A
up.
lot more. That's
Was
why
it?
the insects could get so big because they're because of the way their circulatory system is. They breathe through their skin, so with more oxygen, they get bigger.
Fuck that.
Right?
I didn't even know that.
Hey,
That makes sense though.
Take a future weapon back with you, right? You should be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got time travel, you got a super air breathing device with your super shotgun of the BFG.
Can of raid.
Yeah. I just want to see if they actually existed because I don't believe that dinosaurs did,
No?
even though they have the bones. No, I think it's pre-constructed.
You know how many people that would take to be in on that?
It's-
They couldn't even
yeah.
keep the CIA cover up with what's his face when they were taking that Russian sub out of the ocean.
I still don't
Nobody
believe
can
it
keep
was real.
shit covered up anymore.
So I've heard this before. The only reason I've heard this before, there was a Dolphins player who didn't believe him, and Jimmy Kimmel took him to a museum. Took him to a museum, and he's like, "So what do you think that is?" He's like, "That's not a real dinosaur." And then he's like, "It's probably doesn't even have any real bones." And then the curator's like, "He's actually correct. A lot of those bones aren't real. We just made them up to fill it
To
in."
finish up the design. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if they did existed, it would have been way like the bone structure would have been completely different than how we perceive it or how they perceive it to us. Like they fill in the bones basically based off of what they find.
So okay, so that's where you're coming in at. You don't think it's like just okay. And you see that like has like I mean, what was it? This in the 2000s we found out a lot of dinos had like feathers and shit like that. So it's just like
Yeah,
Yeah.
they changed their mind. I think they all had a lot of feathers. Well, that's the theory with why some people believe in dragons, right? They believe they were
I
like
believe
bird
in them.
dinosaurs. They believe they're like
Yeah.
bird dinosaurs, and birds' bones are like more hollow and harder to fossilize, so you wouldn't have fossils left of them. That
I
was
think mostly their bone was like cartilage. That's what I
Yeah.
feel like that their bones were made of.
that was the what was it? The View was talking shit about Joe Rogan and about how he's a dragon believer, and the next day he changed like his ex bio to dragon believer or some shit. Because I think it was like after he had Trump on, they were trying to discredit him. He was like, "I'm a dragon believer."
now a little off topic, but on the dragon thing. Can anybody else say that movie Reign of Fire fucks hard?
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
What?
okay, we're having a movie night, bro.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
Watch it all
It's-
together.
Yo, you got fucking Christian Bale, you got Gerard Butler, you got Matthew McConaughey, who doesn't even look like Matthew McConaughey. He just looks like a greased up fucking American from like I
Yeah.
mean he is, but like more.
Skinhead McConaughey. Dude. That's a good movie.
I love that movie.
Definitely good Twitch. Good turn there towards the end. Yeah, they were talking about dragons and how they're depicted in all these ancient societies and how they're painted on all the walls and stuff. It was pretty neat. All the walls. The timelines where it always gets fuzzy for dinosaurs, right? Like, because they used to not think people were around when dinosaurs were, right? Wasn't that the thing at first? And then they
At first,
found like
yeah.
a lot of cave paintings and shit of dinosaurs. Like, how would you know what a dinosaur looked like if you've never fucking seen one?
I think like a lot of it too is because like I watch a lot of PBS Space Time wherever they talk about all that stuff and a little bit of the Devil's Lettuce helps a little bit. It's like when we think of that, there's like so many different eras and things. Like we think of one dinosaur and another dinosaur that could be chilling together, Jurassic Park, but like back in time they could have been like millions of years apart, and that's like the time scale. It's like 20, 10, 20, 60 million years. Like
Yeah. And how are we? I mean, how are we supposed to have known? Like, it's all an estimate, right? The one thing I heard, the one lady was talking about, I forget what I was talking about, but she was like, it could have been anywhere from 25 million years ago to 60 million years ago. I was like, that's a big fucking gap, lady. Like, if
Can
I
we
could be
narrow
that
that a
wrong,
little bit?
yeah, can I be that wrong on all my guesses and estimates? You know, let's build this. It could be 3,000 square feet, could be 9,000 square feet. Nobody really knows. It
I feel like
doesn't
somebody
matter.
asking you, so where do you live? You know, somewhere in like the Sol system, you know,
Yeah.
a little close to Mercury.
Yeah, somewhere in that general vicinity. To go back to time travel, what would you want to time travel there, Druid?
Well, I heard this one cool thing. I think they bring it up in that time that one movie with the time travel guy where he makes the machine and he goes back in time. Is you can only time travel once you initially invent it, and then that's the only point you could go back to. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, because it's like, yeah, we'd have
Because
like
you couldn't go back to before it was made, right? That would be your time travel like start point, right? Like if the time machine was made, how would you go back millions of years to where it wasn't made?
right,
Maybe you
and it's
could, but
like,
you couldn't get back.
is it pulling like an end game thing if you're going back? Is it now parallel universe because now you've changed what's happened? Or like, is it the grandfather thing where this has always happened? And like going back to, I think people with our complexion are the only people that really have an option to go back. It's not really good for everyone else.
Depends on how far you go back, right?
Yeah.
'Cause they say all life originated in Africa, right?
Right,
So if you go back that far, we might stick out like a sore thumb if we go back that far.
I'm gonna miss my
Wait a
computer and not be
minute.
able to talk to anybody. If anything, I'd wanna go forward a bit. Not too far, just like 20 to 50 years. If I knew everything was not blowing up. That'd be great. Like if we're still on the cool technology path we're on, I want to see some fucking video games 50 years from now. That's what I want to rock. I'm gonna be like 70, 80 by the time that happens, and I'm gonna be like, oh, cripple me. We're up to the Matrix there, Jimmy.
Plug me in.
Grandpa needs
I
to
think
get his moves on.
I think if I could go back, I'd go back to like Kings and Castle time. I think I was born in the wrong era. I think I'd be some real badass fucking giant sword wielding fucking tank. I'd probably have a nice big castle and just
I'd be
slaughter
a wizard.
people. We know. Fireball.
And the best part is too, like people will say, "Oh, they go back, you could change stuff." It's like, well, you don't know how to build your phone or whatever. It's like, no, I don't need to do that. I just need to like go up to like a king, like, bro, I have this great idea. You're gonna love it. Wash your hands when you're done. Any dirty thing, it's gonna do wonders for you.
There's this stuff I invented. I call it toilet paper. Instead of using your hand, you use this.
Okay, just bring bars of soap.
Yeah.
So instead of throwing the shit into the street, because it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, technically, streams it should work as long as it goes to like a endpoint. But if it's like a lake, yeah, that's when it's bad.
Just go over and poop into the still water. Yeah, my last RimWorld playthrough was kind of that. Why is everybody sick and dying of dysentery? Oh, they're pooping in the drinking water.
What was that game? Ark Survival.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
I remember trying to play that, and I was running. Somebody was playing it with me, and they were trying to walk me through, and I'm running around, and I just hear them shit. I'm like, "What the fuck was that?" He's like, "Turn around and look," and it's just a pile of my shit on the ground. I'm sitting here dying from starvation, but I'm sitting here shitting myself every 30 seconds in this game. Oh, Well, I think
Speaking
we
of
covered.
art, fuck that shit.
Played
Fucking,
that
I
for
love
6 months straight, nonstop, and then just never touched it again.
I love those type of games. I am just not good at them. I don't have, I think, the patience. Maybe like
It
DayZ.
does take a long time.
I love DayZ. I thought DayZ was a great concept and a great game. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't run around for 45 minutes, gather up some supplies, and then die because I didn't find enough fucking apples to eat. Or because I'm not smart enough that I just went over to this well of water. Oh, that should be clean. I'm gonna drink it. Oh nope, my guy's throwing up every 30 seconds.
Fucking
Oh, it's
that
raining outside, and I'm still wearing the wet clothes. Now I'm sick. Like what the fuck?
fucking last time we played Daisy, I think it was Sass and Refresh and I. That exact same thing happened to me. I'm like, I'm dying of thirst. Ooh, a lovely little stream. I started drinking of it, and next thing I know, I'm like coughing and puking as we're all running together in a pack. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm just yelling, "Get away from me!"
I think we had a
wanna
zombie
get
running
sick.
with us.
We
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Just me holding a flare just in the front. Follow me.
me and Charlie played it early on when it was coming out on console when we were able to play it. It took us probably the better part of an hour to find each other alive.
Oh
To get to each other
yeah.
and find each other. So then we spent probably another 2 hours collecting shit, like carrying a generator as slow as possible. We carried all this shit into this building. We're like, yeah, no one will find it. But we spent all this time, like probably 3 hours, like finally collecting all this shit. And we log on the next day and it's all gone. Everything's gone. I don't know if it was a wipe. It was time when there was a wipe, or if it was people came and stole our shit. So
No,
then
you had to get a flag down.
Oh, like
You have to
that
have the
Rust
actual
DK
territory.
crap.
Yeah.
The other thing was the one time I played it, we had run around forever and finally found people. I was like, yeah, I found people. Well, they kidnapped me
Nice.
and they put me in their fucking car
Nice.
and they drove around for like 15 minutes. I was like, what are you guys doing? They're like, we're disorientating you. We don't want you to know where we're going.
I didn't know
So
where we were
they
going
take-
in the first 2 minutes, bro.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. The signs are in Russian. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I found you. So they take me to their base handcuffed. And then they're like, here, you're going to die. You need to eat. So I'm eating. Well, they're feeding me human meat. And my guy's just fucking tweaking out. I'm like,
Start getting
well, yeah. I'm like, why would you guys do that? They're like, this way we know where you are at all times because we can hear you. I'm like, I don't know where I am at all times. I'm really not that important, guys. But they gave me a bunch of shit. I was like, yeah. Like they gave me backpacks and guns and all this shit, right? They're like, all right, you got 2 minutes to get away and we're going to track you. I was like, fuck.
The hunt
died immediately.
begins.
I didn't make it very far. My camera's fucking tweaking. But yeah, I love those style of games. I can't get into them. I don't know why. This camera's gonna drive me fucking nuts.
I noticed you keep looking at it. You're like, fuck, bro.
No, I just need to buy one that didn't cost like $13 at Walmart, and it'd probably help.
I totally.
I mean, mine was like 20. His is like too damn expensive.
No.
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 It's an actual camera.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 700.
It's just
Oh,
the camera. The lens.
Just
I
the camera lens.
I got like a bunch of lenses and attachments. I take this stuff around town all the time. It's actually I got a few vids where we're driving up to the reserve or into the city, and I stick it onto the side of the car and stuff, and do time lapses and stuff like that.
Too much for me. Can't do all that.
Um,
I have children, so I can't have nice things.
Mhm.
They break it all. You shut up! Don't talk about me breaking it. I don't break it. You break it.
You break it and I break it more.
Yeah, I break it more. I give you a cookie, you get a cookie. I think that's everything I wanted to talk. What? I know I don't have cookies. I'm sorry. I think that's about all I wanted to talk about. We talked about the aliens. We talked about a little bit of
Freemasons a little bit.
societies. Yeah, we talked about Bitcoin. We talked about the dark web. I think that's about it. I added some other time travel and shit there. This is something I want to try to do at a regular basis. I mean, an hour's a pretty good mark. I want to start doing one I'd like to do it every 2 weeks, but it's probably going to be once a month. And what I'd like to do is maybe a couple weeks before, open it up to the community for some topics, and then just whoever wants to join in. Not too many. I think sometimes we've had like 6-8 people, and I think it gets a little much when
Yeah.
everybody's talking over each other and it's getting kind of crazy. And then we get off script, and then we spend 13, 14 hours talking about nothing.
People are jumping
Just
in and
yelling over
out,
each
and
other.
I'm like
Mhm.
editing around,
Eating
trying to make sure
food.
everyone's still in squares.
So something I'd like to do a little bit more. I envision, like, I'm getting to the point in my age, because I'm fucking old, as you can see all the gray, that I'm gonna start phasing more out, definitely more out of competitive gaming. I want obviously the team and stuff to keep doing it, and I'll be there for supporting them, but I just don't have. I don't know if it's the love for it or the time and the effort to study metas and study rotations and do all this shit competitively. I'm getting to the point where I just want to play for fun, but I want to have something else to kind of keep the channel alive and kind of branch out into different shit. I mean, podcasts are huge. I know we're late to the game, but just something fun and switch it up and do different shit, different topics. Doesn't have to be serious. Maybe sometimes it is. Sometimes it could be complete and utter horse shit. And just go from there. Just make it a nice, enjoyable fucking chat for people.
I mean, eventually you probably could get into the commentary and then start hosting your own tournaments within the community.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to start phasing into like coaching, spend more time doing that, which again is kind of counterintuitive because I'm gonna have to do research on metas and rotations. Fuck.
It's a complete opposite, but you have
Yeah.
time to do it.
Yeah, everything except for the gratification of being the guy who pulls the trigger to win. I'm just the guy behind you saying, "Hey, we did it." That's kind of it. I want to try at some point. And I probably never will. I wanted to try to do like some IRL stuff, but I don't think I'll ever do it.
No, one day.
Maybe one day. I think that's about it. I think we can call it. I think it was pretty good session, and we'll start planning for the next one. Druid here did some good editing for us on our last podcast, and then the podcast that I think I did like a year and a half ago that was inside of a wind turbine that he was able to cut most of the fucking wind out of the fucking background. So we'll do that. I really liked how you zoomed in on my face when I was doing that shot, that you could really see the disgust.
Man, as soon as he did that, I'm like looking like, oh, he did not like that.
Beautiful. Then you see my best friend, the fat Mexican back here, and his face is like identical to mine. He's it's horrible. So I want to start posting that, get some more of that stuff, and then eventually, like I said, we started a different business. We started an actual business doing some stuff, and I want to kind of funnel them together, and I want to start getting some resources out to Slabo and getting some out to Druid here, and start getting it to where we can kind of give you guys some sort of stipend, pay you guys a little bit of money, maybe make videos for some of the other kids that are on the stream, and I think it might help everybody else grow a little bit, put some money in everybody's pockets, and go from there.
Coolness.
I do want to start trying to play some of those games with you guys too. I'm going to be really bad at them, but I think it'll be fucking hilarious and make some good content.
Hey, that's the best. Like, that's the reason I don't play competitive. I'm so bad at them, and the games we do play, I'm not good at those either.
I mean, I watched you guys the one night driving around in that car for like 2 hours, and I was fucking laughing almost the whole time. I was watching you putting a fucking semi engine into a fucking Volkswagen Beetle. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And then the car just flipped over while people were in it. I was like, what the fuck? Some shit like that. So I think we'll call it here.
Not having a good time.
I appreciate you guys. Dude, I was having a great time listening to you not having a good time.
I know everyone loves it. I hate it.
Saying, my wife was watching the video. She's like, I love how they're just triggering the shit out of Sass. I'm just there on the roof throwing beer bottles at him and shit while he's trying to get his nice car together.
I was watching you fucking load that revolver and just with one bullet and run around to people and shoot it and see if it kills them. I was like, you know how mad you would be if you just collected all this shit and just get shot. All right, I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna go get my wife ice cream, and then I'm gonna come back and play something. I don't know what, but we'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys' input and effort, and we'll kick Spartan's ass later for not joining like you said he would.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
All right, boys. Appreciate you, everybody. We'll see you later.
Please.
Two knock.
No, dude, my thing was out.
Push him into the storm with that all.
Got him, bro.
Did you
Woo!
get
Run, 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 run. Let's go. Nice.